What's going on, guys? I'm Arsbill, and welcome back to another episode of Just Another Let's Play. Today, we are finishing the General Mob Farm. This thing is stretched out over so many different episodes, and throughout a few different redesigns, I just want to get this thing up and running and get it done so we can start getting some XP and start getting a whole bunch of material as well. So, without further ado, let's jump into it and get started on it. So between episodes, I have done a ton of AFK time over here at the Amethyst geode, and as you can see, I got a ton of tinted glass, and I'm hoping that this is going to be enough tinted glass in order to get it all complete. But if we have to AFK a little bit more, I suppose that I'll have to do that between episodes. But this should get us a really good start, and hopefully this should be enough to get it completely done. One thing that I really need to focus on in one of the following episodes is getting a full steady supply of food, because as you can see I have kind of an abundance of different food inside of my inventory, and basically I've just been running around killing it with my sword and then cooking it, and that's really not the way to do it. As you can see, my sword is just about broken from using that tactic, so we definitely need to secure some way of where we can make some golden carrots or some cooked beef, something of that sort, to where we can have a sustainable food source. So we are coming up on the General Mob Farm now. If you have not seen the General Mob Farm at this point, then please go and check out the last video on it, and that way you could see the conversion that took place to get it to where we are at now. So I want to come down here, and I'm going to start by setting my spawn point. And I guess put a couple pieces of this inside of this chest so I can clear up my inventory. And then I'll grab a stack of blocks so I can scaffold with it. So basically where I want to start is I don't want to come up underneath these glass blocks. I want to come up with the glass right to the side of these two. So what that means is whenever I lay my glass down below, I want to make sure that I am coming to each one of the points below and coming out by 2. So 1, 2, and then the third one down below is going to be where I start building the glass all the way up here to the top. And that's essentially going to give me a 2-block gap for all of the mobs to have plenty of enough room to fall down below. So I'm going to go jump into bed, sleep real quick, and let's get started. So I'm going to start building this ring around with cobblestone on the bottom layer. That way we can redesign it if we need to without losing all of our tinted glass. I really don't care if I lose some cobblestone. So what we want to do is we're going to start here and count this out by 1 and 2. And then if we come out this way and this way, this should be directly under where we want to come up. So the tinted glass will come all the way up there. And then if we go to this block here, it's going to come all the way up to there, which is going to give us our 2-block gap that we want. That way the mobs can still fall down. So let me go ahead and build this around, and then we'll start placing in the glass. Well guys, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, through the power of editing and a jump cut, you didn't have to watch me build out this entire ring all the way around this. The bad news is however, I realized just how big this ring is, and it's actually 93 blocks around. So if I take 93 and times it with the height of this thing, it comes out to 2,232 blocks, which in stacks that comes out to just shy of about 35 stacks. Looking at what I have here, it's not 35 stacks, so we are definitely not going to have enough tinted glass. So I'm definitely going to have to do a quick AFK session. But first, let's get started on this and place down all of this tinted glass, do a quick time lapse, and see just where we end up with it. Let's go! Alright guys, we got a ton of progress done on this thing, and as I suspected, it was just about half of what I needed. And we got about to this point here, and if you look, this wraps all the way around here. All the way on the back side. And as you could probably tell on the time lapse, it wraps around this side too. And stops just about halfway. Maybe a little bit more than halfway. So at this point I need to go and do a little bit more AFK, and basically AFK for about the same amount of time that I AFK'd before, and get another 30 stacks or so of this tinted glass, and that should just about be enough to finish this project. And I do also want to get enough to where I can remove this cobblestone and bring this tinted glass down a little bit further, because I want that entire bottom level there to be totally dark. Oh, and one more thing. If you haven't noticed my levels, I kind of fell off of the top and died. That is actually a lot higher up than what it looks like. And I was just trying to fall from the top down to one of these blocks and restart building going up again. And that it didn't work out for me. I fell way too far and ended up dying almost immediately. So feather falling boots will definitely have to be in the future. But for now, I just gotta make do with what I got. On that note, I am off to AFK. However, I'm going to jump over to the realm, and while I'm AFKing, I'm going to take you on a quick tour, show you kind of what I've been doing over there, and what's been keeping me busy. And then by the time we are done with that, we should be done AFKing, and we'll jump back on and get back to it. Let's go. Alright guys, so quick detour. I am on the realm, and I just want to take a moment to show you what we've been up to off of the Let's Play, and what we've been doing on the realm. Me and Renee had a few hours to where we could get away from our busy lives and actually play some on the realm and do a little bit of much needed work to the upper shopping district area. So let's check it out. This is what we have been doing, and if you have seen the Conjuring Realm tour video, then you will see just how much of a difference this is. And we're still very much working on this. It's definitely a work in progress, but it is definitely coming along. But the main thing that I wanted to show you was what we have behind this wall here. This has been my project for about a week now, just doing a little bit here and there. And if you have seen my Mega Smelter video, you might recognize this thing. However, this one is a little larger than the tutorial that I have posted on the Mega Smelter. The tutorial Mega Smelter is an 84 furnace array. This one here is a 96 furnace array. So I actually extended it out the back by one, keeping it onto the chunk that it was in. And that allowed me to add an additional 12 furnaces to it. However, adding that and adding the additional fueling system, I did have to make a few modifications that were different than the tutorial as well. Over here I have a mini smelter. And that's just because the way that we're fueling this one here is using lava buckets. And we really don't want to use one lava bucket per one item. So we wanted to make this to where there's a minimum that you need. And the minimum is you have to have at least 4 stacks of items in order to use this one. If not, then you just use a small mini smelter over here, which this thing is still pretty quick. This is a 14 furnace array here. And it smelts stuff fairly fast, not nearly as fast as this one obviously, but it does a really good job of smelting items. So after this thing is fueled with a lava bucket, the lava bucket will drop down and into this chest. This chest, all of your smelted items will come down into here. Nothing else will be pulled out of here aside from the empty buckets. Everything else will remain inside of here. So you can see if we throw some dirt in here, it's not going to go anywhere, but as soon as we throw some buckets in, it's going to automatically start pulling that down. And the reason for that is because we have a sorting system that is directly below here. And if we come back up here, the access for the sorting system is right down here. And pretty much just your basic impulse SV sorter that's sorting out buckets and leaving everything else. Then it just goes into an auto dropper going into an item stream, which then goes into an item elevator. Once they go into the item elevator, they go up the stairs, which is to the floor above us, which is above the smelter room. And this is where the smelter gets all of its fuel from. This is my very own lava farm that I designed. I don't have a tutorial on this. If you guys want a tutorial for this, let me know and I'll be sure to put one together and put it on my channel for you guys. However, it does look intimidating, but it is pretty straightforward. It's basically just a giant piston feed tape that's feeding lava cauldrons all the way around in a continuous circle. With the new mechanic, we can now harvest lava, where the lava drips down out of the stalactites into the empty cauldron, and then it will fill up the cauldron, giving us a renewable source of lava. The way that we use this farm is we come over here and turn on this lever, which is going to get this piston feed tape moving. So now that it is moving, it will be completely going into a circle, and then it will come up here and push past the AFK area. So this is the AFK area here, and we have doors on it to keep all of the mobs out. Everything else is mob proofed. However, I have had a few instances to where mobs have spawned and coming in here and the doors have saved me. So it's really a good idea. And what you can see here is this piston feed tape just gradually goes past this area. Since we have a full inventory here with only one stack of buckets, we're not able to pick up any more additional buckets, and that includes any more additional buckets of lava. So whenever we go to harvest the lava is going to drop down through the hopper that's directly below the carpet that I'm standing on, and that's going to basically shuttle it into the lava storage that is directly behind me. And if you notice, every time I scoop lava, I have a bucket that's replenished in my inventory. That's because this is continuously circulating empty buckets, and we have nothing but empty buckets in here. If it drops down and it fails to go into my inventory, this hopper will grab it, recirculate it through here, through this auto dropper, item elevator, and back to the top here. Up at the top here where the storage is, this is also where the double chest below me for the mega smelter ties in up here. Up here is also where the empty buckets come in from down below, from where the smelted item pickup chests put them into a water stream, bringing them up and back up into here to be recirculated. So it's basically a big recirculated system, and the only thing that is required to run this entire furnace array is that we just come here and occasionally AFK and gather some lava. So if you want to see a tutorial for this setup, drop a comment below and let me know, and I'll go ahead and put one together for you guys. So I figured you guys would enjoy that quick little tour, seeing what I've been up to in the realm, and showing what exactly we have been doing with these new 1.17 updates. Alright guys, I'm back from AFKing, and it really is no joke. It does really take a substantial amount of time to gather tinted glass, especially in large quantities like I need now. So, after the AFK session, what I ended up getting was all of this tinted glass here. So this should be plenty. We have additional 8 stacks here, and then we also have some of the amethyst shards that hopefully I won't need, but they're here for backup or maybe even future projects. I did finally get smart in having to smelt up a whole bunch more of that sand to make glass. I went to the nether and got a couple buckets full of lava, which really helped me fuel-wise. That way I didn't have to constantly keep going and finding more and more coal. So with that being said, go ahead and grab some tinted glass, and we are going to head over and hopefully finish up this mob farm. So this is pretty much it in all of its glory after the time lapse. And another thing that I did was over here inside of the center, in order to connect both of these together, I ended up running a line from the output block on that, running into a redstone torch to invert the signal. Then that's going to bring over a redstone line over to this repeater, which is going to run it through here. And between the two farms, we ran into the issue to where we don't want any mobs to fall on top of this cobblestone, because then they're going to die and their items are going to get trapped here. So in order to combat that, what we did was we flooded 3 repeaters to continue the signal all the way over here and to turn this off. And the repeaters are flooded with water flowing that direction. That way, whenever a mob falls on top of that, instead of dying, they're just going to be washed off and then fall down here below as well. The reason for the inverted torch there is because we want this chamber over here to flood at a different rate than this. So whenever this chamber on the right hand side does not have water and it's spawning mobs, we want this side to be all flooded where it's not going to spawn any mobs. And then once this one is non-flooded and spawning mobs, we want this one to be flooded. That way we're kind of alternating back and forth. However, all of the glass is in place, so let me go ahead and grab some material for the trident killers, and then we're going to get started building those next. Alright, so I just finished collecting what I think is just about everything that we're going to need to complete these trident killers. Aside from the tridents, we have all of this to build up the housing and all of the redstone and whatnot. And I think this should be enough, and then also I was able to go over to the ice biome and gather some packed ice. This will allow our items and our experience to float across the ice streams and make our way over to the AFK spot. So I think the first thing that we need to do, speaking of AFK spot, is go out here and mark out our AFK spot. That way we kind of have a target area that we are building towards and working towards. Alright, it's the next day and we have the AFK spot set, so at least now we have a target to where we can start building towards. So what we want to do at this point is we're going to grab some scrap blocks where we can tower up. And we want to tower up directly underneath this. And then let's go down a little bit lower. And we should be able to reach that right there. Yep. And then I'm going to make a platform to work on. And what we need to do with this is the trident killer needs to be 2x2. And the funnel that we have dropping into this is 3x3. It's 3x3 because we have a magma block in the center, and that magma block is there to kill all of the spiders that come down through it. That way they don't get hung up inside of the trident killer. So what we want to do is we're going to make an area to where that 3x3 is converted into a 2x2. So we need to bring this down, and I think tinted glass will work very well for this application. Plus I do have an abundance of it left over. So at this point I think I'm going to have the water flowing this direction, not that it really matters, but I'm going to place in these, that way I can have the trident killer kind of one block closer to my AFK spot. That way we don't run into any despawning issues, and I'm just going to start building up the trident killer from here. Alright, so one down, we got one more to go. And just like that, with the beauty of a jump cut, we are back and we have a ton of progress. So as you can see, a ton of work has been done and progress has been made. And if you're looking at it from back here, it is definitely an impressive looking farm. However, we are not quite done with it. We do still have to add some little things here and there, and we do also have to add in a sorting system as well. So basically all of the mobs will spawn inside of there, be pushed down into the trident killer on each side, and then they will be killed. And instead of putting the hoppers and the chest underneath the trident killers, like most of the time I decided to make this to where they will shoot the items and the experience down the water streams. And both of these water streams will then collide into this water stream here, and then everything will be sent up this water stream into this water elevator and bring up everything to the AFK spot. Now as of right now, everything is coming up this bubble column, and this bubble column is also the way that I come up the farm as well. But we have the items and experience that are both coming up this bubble stream as of now. So what we need to do is we need to add in a sorter down here below, and that's basically going to take everything out of this farm. before it has a chance to come up here as well. So these are the two item streams that I were talking about, where they come in here and then they intersect. And they will intersect in here and then basically send everything down its way up that water elevator to take it to the AFK spot. This redstone is what powers these trident killers on and off. As you can see, we got quite a few mobs in there. I did go ahead and add in that redstone block and that piece of redstone above us to go ahead and activate the etho hopper clock that runs this thing, so we are definitely having mobs pouring down inside of it. And then the redstone will run into these, and whenever they are powered, like they are now, the trident killer will be turned off. Whenever they are unpowered, then they will be turned on and continue to run. So this is basically a clock that I put on. I just ran up and turned it on, and the purpose of this clock is to turn the trident killers on and off instead of having them always on or always off. So I ended up adding in the repeater here, and this normally will work if you just have the experience, because the experience will eventually find its way out of the trident killer. However, it was really not wanting to drop the items out of the discharge hole here as good as I would have liked it to. So what this pause does is it allows the trident killer to turn off for a brief moment, which allows this entire trident killer to push everything out of it, and then it will all be sent up that bubble column into the AFK spot. And you can see this one does the same thing. It will run for a couple seconds periodically, and then it will go ahead and turn off for a brief moment, and then it will constantly cycle back on and off over and over again. And as you can see from that short time running it, we have quite a few items here floating. However, I don't want to leave and overload all of these items here and keep them here for a long time, because it's really going to create quite a bit of lag on the world. So what I'm going to work on next is going to be the sorting system, which is going to pull all of the items out of the water stream before they have a chance to come up here. So let's go down below and we'll get started on it. So I went ahead and brought this out quite a ways. I'm not quite sure how much of the items that I want to keep. I know that there's a lot of stuff that I do want to keep. However, stuff like the swords and the armor, stuff like that, I really don't have much of a use for, not unless it's got a pretty good enchantment on it. So I really don't want to keep a bunch of stuff. However, I want to make this big enough to where I can keep all of the stuff that I do want to keep. And also, I do want to account for future expansion. If I want to expand this thing and keep more stuff, then I want to have enough room to where I can do that without having to totally rebuild the entire thing. So at this point, what I want to do is, I think maybe about here is probably where we will stop, and I want to come down 2 blocks, and then I'm going to bring my hopper stream all the way over here. On this first hopper here, I want to go ahead and place some glass on the back side here. And then I also want to place a piece of glass here. Let me go ahead and grab my rail and place down a rail here, and then a hopper minecart. These hopper minecarts are what's going to pull everything out from below and send it on down this item stream. And just in case this one is not quick enough, we're going to have a second one, which is going to act as a backup one. And then we're going to place one here, piece of glass there and there, and then we're going to place a second one. So if the first one misses it, then this second one will hopefully get it. And then the glass is just to keep it aligned, keep them from falling off as well. So we're just going to box these in, that way they don't go anywhere. And then we can place some more glass on either side. Now the downside of having 2 of them is we do have to start our sorting system a little further back this direction. That's why I really wanted to leave myself plenty of room. That way I have plenty of enough room to expand this way if I need to. So what I want to do at this point is go ahead and grab me some temporary blocks. And I'm going to start placing in some of the hoppers that are going to pull down for the sorting system. And I think I want to have the chest facing this way. So I'm going to start placing the hoppers down here. And I'll just do 5 for now. and then place down some solid blocks here and here. What I am building here is going to be the Impulse SV sorting system. This is going to be the one that's the most commonly used. It's a very, very good sorting system. If you have not used it, I would highly recommend it. And we basically want to bring this out by an additional 2. And then an additional 1 more. And then you'll make a T shape in the center here. And then a block down here as well. A temporary block there, and another solid block there. You can go ahead and remove that. And then we're just going to extend this all the way across. And then we'll extend the other one all the way across too. However, we need to put in all of our repeaters in there first. So we will grab our repeaters and place all of these in on a 1 tick delay. Then we need to make up some torches. And this needs to be lined all the way underneath. And we can bring this all the way across. And we need to go up here. And this entire thing needs to be lined with redstone, which we don't have enough of. Alright, so after you run out of redstone and then go and grab some more, you're going to basically place redstone all over the top of these. And then you're going to take your comparators and place a comparator down facing towards that redstone on each one of these. So to finish these up, we can go ahead and place a temporary block there, bring that over, remove that. Then we're just going to place some temporary blocks here. These are going to be where we're going to place in our hoppers. And then we can remove these. And then place in our chest in their locations. Just like that. So now we can go ahead and clean all of this up. We shouldn't have to worry about any mobs spawning on this because the mobs are not going to spawn on redstone. Now, whenever we have items going down the water stream, the first hopper minecart is going to immediately pull those into the system. And if any of them are missed by the first hopper minecart, there's that second one there to grab whatever is missed and then have everything pulled down into these hoppers, which will then flow into the system. So in order to set these things, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of scaffolding so we can go up here. And we need to place placeholder blocks in here. So we're going to fill 4 of each one of these with a block that we know will never go into here. For this example, we're going to use sand because hopefully sand will never find its way through this system. And if it does, then it's going to break the entire system. So at this point, we need to make sure that we keep sand out of it. So at this point, we have string in this one. What we want to do is we'll place our gunpowder in this one, bones in this one, and then we're going to do in the next one probably strings. Then we can do arrows here. And for this one here, we're going to maybe do ink sacs. Eventually we're going to expand this out, add a spider eye, and we'll probably add the rotten flesh down the road along with the other ones. That way, in case we ever want to do any kind of trading, we have the rotten flesh to do that with. What's up, guys? I interrupt this video to let you guys know that most of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. If you don't want to miss anything and you want to catch everything that I upload, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is totally free, no sign up required, and it allows you to get each and every video that I upload. That way you don't miss a single thing. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and check it out. There are tons of videos on the channel. Things from Let's Plays to redstone tutorials to farm tutorials. There's something for everybody. Check it out. Now let's return to the video. So since I have 5 more comparators, I think I'm going to build this out an additional 5. And push my boat out of the way. And place the 5th one right there. And now we're just kind of going to future-proof it for right now. So then we can add these in. Go ahead and grab those. And 5. Add 1 there. And then we're going to build these in. As well as bring this across. Place in our 5 comparators. And then we're going to fill in the redstone. Now where we fall short is definitely iron. The hoppers are very, very hard to make, especially this early in the game. And then also we want to do some more tree harvesting so we can get enough chests as well. We can go ahead and add these 2 leftover chests in. However, we're going to need more, and then we're probably going to expand this downwards as well. So that way we have plenty of storage for the future. However, I am going to have to do a mining session next episode to go ahead and replenish our iron supply, along with getting some other materials such as coal and stuff like that. So probably do a huge general mining session, and then we'll get started finishing this sorting system. And this will, for now, take care of the issue of all of the items going to the top there, because they will be pulled into the system here. So to keep all of the stuff from going up the item stream, what we want to do at this point to keep the system from backing up is we want to go to one of these last hoppers, and we're going to pull out all of these. And what this is going to do is allow this to be a general hopper, and it's going to allow everything just to free flow down through here. And once it does that, then it'll be able to fill this up as well. And we can also remove the torch from below. And that's going to make it to where this is not locked at all. So all of this stuff will just free flow down and into this chest. And that's going to keep everything from backing up and going up to the AFK spot. Well guys, that's going to about wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And the next episode we're going to be doing a ton of mining and getting a bunch of resources together. But we're going to start off the episode next with going to the enchantment table and hopefully finding us a really good pickaxe. Since we have a good source of XP now, we can go ahead and AFK here, grow some levels, and finally get up to level 30. And then we're going to be able to fully enchant the pickaxes like we really need to, and hopefully get one that has Fortune 3 and maybe even Unbreaking on it. So that would be really, really helpful if we had that, and that would really cut our mining time down substantially. This thing does still need a ton of detailed work, but it is functioning now. I just have to finish up all of the sorters down below, which shouldn't be too big of a deal once we have the resources. One thing that I would like for you guys is to let me know what you think about this. And as far as the outer corners of all of this glass here, on the very, very most pointed edges on it, I want to probably add in some support, making maybe stonework, black stone, something like that. I want to make it look like it almost has a frame around it. That way it doesn't look like a big thing of glass with no structural support. I also want to make some structural support down below, making it go down into the ocean. That way it doesn't look like it's just a floating farm inside of the ocean. If you guys have any recommendations for what to do, please drop them below and let me know. This farm will continue being tweaked, that way I can get the utmost efficiency out of it, and also do a lot of detail work and make it look a whole lot better. One last thing to leave you guys with, I'm going to play a short clip of what the realm looks like now. We did a ton of work on the realm, and that's one of the reasons why this episode has been a little bit delayed. However, just to show you how fast things change on the realm, I want to show you guys this clip and compare the clip at the beginning of this video to the clip at the end of this video, just to see over the course of a day what all changed on it. So if you noticed last time that we came into the realm, there was pretty much a stone wall right behind this portal, and we had to walk to the left to get to the smelter that I made. However, whenever you walk into here, there is no longer a stone wall. And this is what we have been designing over the past couple days, and it has came out better than we could have really ever hoped that it would have. This design on the back was one that Impulse SV had designed on one of his Hermitcraft episodes, and we fell in love with it and decided that we should make it kind of a centerpiece inside of the building that we have here. However, if you look down here, we've moved a lot of our free community stuff over here to where this is kind of a little room. We're going to have this going up into a community center up here, and then it's going to go outside into a giant, kind of a glass dome garden type of thing. If you look outside here, we have quite a nice little area out here, and it's just a natural generated area where we'll probably take that floating bit down. Other than that, it's a nice flat area, and it has loads of cliffs surrounding it. This I still need to terraform a little bit more, don't mind the shroom lights. But with the waterfall and stuff, it's just a nice little majestic place. So it'll be really cool to have a bunch of greenery and stuff added into this and make it kind of like a little outdoor garden area. However, that's going to be one of the next projects. So if we come across the hall here, you can see all of our free materials here, and this is just where the realm has an abundance of these materials. So we, instead of hoarding them, we'll put them out where they are given away for free. That way, anybody who needs them for community projects, they can come over here to the community center and help themselves. And if we head this way, you can see with all of the shulker boxes, this is still very much under construction. We have the new disposal system here, and this is a trap chest. So whenever you put all of your stuff in here, if you don't want it anymore, it will automatically delete it and get rid of it. And then we also have the composing system here. Any organic items that you don't want, you can place inside of here, and then you'll get the bone meal for return. And if we come through this door here, this door is the door that leads you to the smelter. We are still working and probably going to change this door design here. However, this was where we would walk left, where there was a giant stone wall, and come into the smelter. Now there's no longer a giant stone wall. If you come up these stairs here, this is kind of the behind the scenes that Renee's working on over there, getting everything put together. And those are going to be the storage silos. And if you come around up here, if you could just take a moment and appreciate the absolute beauty that went into this. We spent a few days putting this all together and really came up with such an amazing design. And this whole entire place is spawn proof because underneath each one of those red nether bricks, those are actually upper red nether brick slabs. And since the light shines through the upper slabs, at least on Bedrock Edition, we're able to do that trick. So every one of those has a light under them, and it will completely make the entire floor spawn proof while still looking amazing. We do plan on putting some chandeliers here and probably putting 2 or 3 of them, and they're going to be hung in between the lights here, and they're going to drop down a little ways. However, this was quite a project on the realm, and there was quite a few of the members involved on it. So let me know what you think about it inside of the comments below. I think that it turned out fantastic, and I can't wait for us to put the finished touches on it. Let me know what you guys think about it inside of the comments below. We are still looking for a few members left on the realm. If you are interested in joining a SMP realm server, then go ahead and check the link below. I'll put it inside the description. We are looking for a few new members that are going to be active and that are going to be 18 years old or older. So if you're interested, please drop a comment or head on over to that video and let us know that you have an interest in joining. That's going to be all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.